Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we do YouTube.
We do. In case you didn't figure that out.
Yeah, we do YouTube. We do a lot of YouTube, actually. I think we have like 3,000 videos or something, or 2,000 videos. I don't know. We got lots of videos out there.
Yeah, we do.
So as such, there are ads on our videos, and those ads, pay us a little bit of money. Now, YouTube has decided they've changed their terms of service, and they're making a lot of people angry because it's hard to get into the YouTube partner program to monetize your videos. And now YouTube has decided that they're going to put ads on everybody's videos, and they're going to keep the money if you're not a partner.
Right. So that people aren't happy, as you can imagine.
They're not. And this was rolled out yesterday afternoon. I saw the TOS change via email, and it doesn't affect us necessarily, but I can imagine it being a huge kick to the crotch for someone who has tried very hard to get monetization, and they're putting out content trying to get their numbers up. We're going to talk about that, how YouTube changed that just like 2 years ago, the criteria to be monetized, only to have YouTube put ads on your stuff themselves.
Right. But there is another side to it, to how you can look at it. We've talked about it before for other platforms, that we'll talk about that as well, because there is another side to it that people aren't considering. So
yeah, the cost of hosting and all of that. So this is coming from The Verge. YouTube will run ads on some creator videos, but it won't give them any of the revenue. The company is rolling it out on a limited number of videos. No,
so it's limited, or it's not?
I don't think it is. I'll tell you what. I know something weird the other month.
Okay.
On our videos, I actually turned ads off on some of our videos, including one of them was a Chadwick Boseman, because I didn't think it was right to monetize Chadwick Boseman. He died. It was like a 3-minute video. YouTube put ads on that video. Now, I don't know if the money went to us or if it went to YouTube, but I distinctly turned the ads off. And I know some of we have a couple other channels that aren't quite monetized yet, and I'm pretty sure I've seen ads running on those, even though, so I think they've been doing this. I'll be honest, I think they've been doing this.
Well, here's a question. They have all those channels that they said that they have them in different programs, especially the kids ones, where they aren't monetizing like they should. Are they turning those on? But again, if people have those videos turned off, because they were saying that they couldn't monetize them because it was the content.
I don't know.
I don't know either, because we don't have any of those. I'm just asking, because our videos are definitely not for kids, so we don't run into that issue.
Right.
I'm just, if anybody out there knows, please let us know.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that, because YouTube, is a wonderful platform when it works. It's not so wonderful in terms of being transparent with creators, and this has been an ongoing issue for the last 3 or 4 years now. Actually, ever since the first adpocalypse, there have been a lot of shenanigans regarding YouTube monetization, and a lot of creators just don't trust YouTube, to be honest. And this is another blow against that. Like, oh, I've been making all these videos trying to get my numbers up, and you guys are going to cash in. I can't cash in yet, but you can cash in on my videos. So starting today, this would have been last night, YouTube will begin running ads on some creators' videos, but it won't give them a portion of the ad revenue because they're not big enough to be enrolled in the partner program. And we'll talk about how they raised the criteria just 2 years ago for that. When advertisements run on YouTube videos, those creators typically receive a portion of the revenue through their role in YouTube's partner program. With the new monetization rules, a creator who is not in the partner program may see ads on some of their videos, according to this update. Prior to the update, YouTube says these videos only received ads in limited circumstances, like if they were monetized by a record label as part of a copyright claim. The update will mostly affect smaller creators without a huge viewership because the partner program jacked up its requirements to have 4,000 hours of watch time and at least 1,000 subscribers. And that made a lot of people very, very angry.
I remember.
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago. They made it so much harder for small creators to get into the partner program, and there were people that were monetized that suddenly had their monetization taken away.
Right.
We had that happen on our one Disney News channel. It was just snapped away because they're like, oh, you don't have enough subs, you don't have enough.
We weren't honestly using it so.
I mean, it was basically beer money at that point. I mean, if you've only got 1,000 subs and you're only getting 4,000 hours of watch time, you're probably not making a ton of money.
No.
But it is a good motivator for creators to keep pushing forward because you can't get super chats or anything until you're in the partner program, until you've been monetized. So you might not make the ad revenue, but smaller creators can make money through super chats and stuff.
Right,
so yeah, it was a blow. It was a blow for them. And then to have them turn around and say, hey, we're going to throw ads on your stuff anyway, but you're just not getting any.
Right.
So they talk about advertising being big business for YouTube and Google. It generated $5 billion in the last quarter alone. Advertising is a big deal for creators who may rely on the site's payouts to support themselves. Now YouTube will be able to run more ads on its platform and won't have to pay a number of creators in the process. I'm guessing it's probably going to be a lot more than they're letting on. They just don't want to tell people. The company confirmed to The Verge that the ads will still not run on videos from non-partner creators that center on sensitive topics, including politics, religion, alcohol, and gambling.
Where's children?
I don't know.
Remember, because I made a big deal that you're going to have to turn your comments off, and you're going to have to. They're going to have limited ads and things. Now, though, there's already limited ads on those. Okay, I can tell you for a fact there's some things we've gotten that they put limited ads on that dealt with politics, religion, or whatever. They put limited ads, but there still was ads. But with kids stuff, there's limited ads. How does this affect those creators is what I want to know. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because, like I said, I noticed something was up a month or two ago with that Chadwick Boseman video. It wasn't particularly sensitive. It was just like, oh my God, Chadwick Boseman died. It wasn't a very long video. I think it was like 3 minutes. I just wanted to react to it. But I did turn ads off on that, and they still ran ads on it.
We've done that before. If we knew something was going to get demonetized anyway, or it was something that we felt we should talk about, but we didn't think it was something that would be right to monetize, we turned the ads off.
Right. And I actually had people in the comments being like, why are you, oh my God, what's wrong with you? Why are you running ads on a Chadwick Boseman?
Well, we didn't.
I didn't. That's what I deliberately turned the ads off. But either they turned them back on themselves and it went to us, which it still shows as like no ads, I think, on that video on the dashboard, or YouTube ran ads on it anyway and they kept the money.
Right.
So there is some weird stuff going on with it. And again, I think they've been doing this for a while. They just haven't announced it. I think they knew like, okay, well, we're going to, because they've turned ads off and then on. We've actually had videos that were dealing with the Depp situation where they would turn, or they wouldn't turn the ads off, but they would have limited ads. Or we would self-rate because, as a YouTuber, if you're part of the partner program and you're a certain size, they make you self-rate your videos to monetize them. We would self-rate, give it like a yellow rating, and then they would turn around later and make it green. So there's definitely something up with it. I think they're realizing that they're losing money now. Because there's so many people out there that were in the partner program, even on, only making $50 a month or something, and now they're not getting any of that. So it adds up, thousands of creators.
But YouTube still, that's what I'm saying. When you have people not making that much money, but you have a bunch of them, it's going to add up, but they're going to make money. And we've seen this happen before on other platforms involving like web comics or different things like that. Because what people don't realize is that even though you're on there and you're not getting many hits, they still have to pay to support your content. They still have to pay to host your content. They still have to pay all that. It's very expensive to pay for all that kind of content, and videos are take up a lot. So they're probably looking at it as, which I explained this once before on thing with webcomics, because the visual pages take a lot of bandwidth, and so what happens is your cost, the more you have up, you'll go up. We ran into this with our webcomic, that the cost kept going up depending on how many pages we had. It took up more and more room and cost more. So when you have all these comics or all these videos and they're sitting there and a lot of them are making a lot of money, which is kind of, covering for everyone, they still have to pay to host those comics. They still have to pay to host those videos. So a lot of times they would put ads on those things and people wouldn't get money and they get upset and be mad about it. But the flip side is, I guarantee even when they're making that money off yours, it's like, it's not that much money and it's not really covering your, what it costs them to keep you on there. Yeah. So, I think that they've taken a hit, especially since they raised and look, I'm not condoning this. I'm just saying from the other side, we've seen it before, and this is why I think they do it sometimes. Well, try going out. Okay, so just a thought experiment here, or you do it yourself. We have clownfishtv.com, and that site is actually set up that if we would ever have to, we could host our own videos on that site and bypass YouTube altogether. Yep. However, video hosting, for the amount of bandwidth that we would need to run, the number of videos that we run on YouTube, is incredibly expensive. It is. We're talking like probably thousands of dollars a month. So what happens is with places like, these webcomic places or these places like YouTube, is that the people that are the bigger people pay for everyone to be on there. Yeah. And that what happens is that there's a very small percentage of people that are actually the big ones that pay for everybody. But there's a plethora of people who don't make the numbers that they need to be financially you're paying for themselves. We'll say that. So a lot of times they'll put ads on everybody, so they're not getting much from each of these small groups of people. But combined, it might be enough to cover everybody to be on there because you're getting your hosting for free, be it comics, be it videos. I'm not saying it's okay, but what I'm saying is that from the other point of view, if you're playing devil's advocate, they're hosting all these things and they're not charging you for it. So if they want to, you're not big enough to do an ad share, they might only make like $10 off you a month, if that. I guarantee you it probably costs them at least that to support your videos or your comics.
Yeah, I mean, just to run a webcomic site yourself, or like you do the Disney blog. Now the Disney blog, we have managed hosting. Right. So if it breaks, they fix a lot of stuff, whatever. But just for the amount of views you get, and you actually do get a pretty decent amount of views, $200 a month.
Yeah, when we had our webcomic, we were paying hundreds.
We had our webcomic when we were getting close to 1 million views a month. We were paying, now this was years ago, but we were paying like $300 or $400 a month. Right. So video hosting is significantly more expensive than that. So again, not to be like, well, that's just not fair. But people don't realize like YouTube, you are getting free hosting. You're getting free SEO. All these things you normally would have to do on your own, they are paying for it.
And then, but the flip side is, then they're taking all those numbers of these people who can't make money off of it and using it to say they have this many subscribers,
Right.
this many viewers, this much, and they're using it to leverage deals with big advertising. So, I can see both sides of this one, to be completely fair, because I know there's two sides to this one, and I honestly see valid points on both sides.
So anyway, smaller creators not happy. There already was a blow against YouTube where you had people that were monetized one day and then the next day, boom, they're not because they didn't have the watch time or the subs they needed. So they weren't even getting their, even if it was $20 a month, at least it was some motivation for them to keep doing it. So now we've got a large YouTube creator with over 3.5 million subs here on Forbes saying this is nuts. If you're a small channel struggling to grow and haven't gotten monetization yet, YouTube will now run ads and take 100% of the profit. I think currently with a partner program, I want to say it's 40%. I think they take 40%. So whatever you get, if you make $1,000, they've made almost $2,000
right.
off of you.
And they don't have to do anything except let you host it there.
Right.
So like I said, I see both sides of this.
So this guy says to Team YouTube, this is nuts. If you're a small channel struggling to grow, it's the greediest move I've ever seen. We've got another one here. I've always kept my YouTube channel ad-free on purpose. There are all the people who do that deliberately, yes. Right. Looks like it's changing for all ad-free YouTube channels. Please reconsider Google. I don't know if they're going to. I think that, again,
they're not going to. No,
this comes down to, like you were saying, the cost of hosting, the cost of their staff.
Costs keep going up, and more people are jumping to YouTube trying to put videos up there, and every day they gain probably thousands of new accounts. That adds up, and if you figure that only honestly, how much, statistically speaking, I wonder how many of the channels are actually monetizable. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's not like a huge percentage. There's a lot of people that make it past the partner program, but a lot of people don't go like super big. Like we're not, and I don't think it's probably a huge percentage of people that actually are paying for themselves. So I think there's probably a lot more that aren't. And I think that's probably what's going on here. But at that point, it'd be more up to people that are bigger channels to be complaining that they're footing the bill for everybody else. You know what I mean? Than it would be for YouTube. And
some of them did. When they raised the requirements on the partner program, some of the YouTubers out there with, hundreds of thousands or millions of subs were like, we think this is totally fair because we're actually bringing revenue to YouTube because they're getting almost half of what we make. So if they're making $1 million a year, YouTube made almost $1 million off their content.
Right.
So they're like, we're basically paying for the rest of you to be on this platform by making the content that brings. But then we see this, power imbalance. And I read before that I think it's like 3% of YouTubers are monetized or make any decent money.
Is that low?
Yeah. Only 1% make enough money to make like a really good living off of, and less than that are rich. So you basically got the
I thought it would be higher than that.
No, you've got like the top 3% of YouTubers footing the bill for everybody else to be on the platform. But then you have to realize too that they're bringing the majority of views, and YouTube's algorithm does favor people that are actually making the money. I mean, that's kind of
I guess when you put it that way, but this is their own choice. They did this themselves. I guess that's where I guess people are upset, because if there was a problem, they felt like they weren't getting enough money off these people. They could have put ads on everybody, and then they would have had to pay some out, but they'd be still making a lot more money than they're making.
Yeah.
And so instead, they chose to go ahead and do that, but not give people the money. So I really, truly, honestly see both sides of this.
I think with the partner program, I think the problem was they did not want to have to deal with the bookkeeping for all these channels.
I think that's what it was. It was
right.
the bookkeeping, yeah.
And in cases like your channel might only make $5 or $10 a year, but there are thousands and thousands of channels that only make $5 or $10 a year, and it all does add up. But if we have to do bookkeeping and reporting
and
reporting for all those people, it's not worth it.
I mean, is it fair? It doesn't seem fair. Is it? But do they have a reason why they have to do this? Because of the expenses? I'm sure they do. So I don't have no answer to this. The only thing I could think of is if you're going to do that and put ads anyway, then you're going to have to open it up to everyone, or just not put the ads on it. But then the flip side is they're paying all this money to have these people hosted, and they're not making any money. I don't know. I have no answer for this.
I actually don't either. I mean, I think they needed to give people the heads up, or give people an option to not monetize their stuff, or make it clearer that this was a possibility. Because what if you put a video out there 2 or 3 years ago that you deliberately did not monetize, and then as of today, YouTube's running ads on it?
Well, the other option they could have done was they could have, back when they changed the guidelines, they could have grandfathered people that were already in to the new, to the old guidelines, and then anybody coming in to it would have to face the new terms of service, which, probably what they should have done. But so I don't know what to say about this.
Well, this is the bigger problem. This is the problem that even YouTubers that make some money at it, they're doing okay at YouTube, have, is that you are at the mercy of YouTube. But we put ourselves there. We as creators, not just us, but we as creators basically turned over the keys to platforms like YouTube and said, you take care of it all. Back in the day, if you got big on the internet, it's because you ran your own website.
Right. And we say the same with places like Webtoons.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing, guys. Or Tapas or different places. It's like you want to use them to get, because that's where all the eyeballs are. But if you do that, then you're agreeing to what their terms of service are. It is what it is, and that's why these places ran out all the competition. So you really don't have a choice but to go to these places. But
this says pretty much everything. The author of this article, John here, said the core challenge for creators: they are essentially modern day sharecroppers, entirely at the mercy of the big platforms. Again, we as creators put ourselves there. A union with the power to strike and potentially remove a significant amount of new content from YouTube or TikTok or Instagram could redress the balance of power.
Could it though? Because a lot of people, so what are you going to do? A lot of people who aren't making money, because the people that are making money aren't going to do anything. The people that aren't making money could all turn around and say, okay, I'm leaving. I'm leaving, but then you're getting nothing anyway. So yeah, you at least have the chance of getting monetized and reaching if you stay on there. I don't know what the answer is.
Well, this is the thing. This is kind of why people just go to YouTube or go to Webtoon or whatever. Full disclosure, this is coming from the author of the article. He has a small YouTube channel. It's in the partner program. I theoretically make a small amount of money, under $100 a month, though I have not collected any payments. I've been too lazy to input my financial details. For that amount of money, it's not really worth it. But look at
some people it is.
Yeah, it is. But look at the amount of work it takes to maintain a website. And the amount of upfront cost it takes me. So when Alex Jones got kicked off of YouTube, he basically went and took all his video content and went to his own website, and people followed him over. But he had the money, the means, the influence to be able to do that pretty easily.
Right, most people can't just do that.
No.
And then you have to look at the expense for creators too. Creators, you have to edit, you have to do different things. It takes time, which is money for you too. So you're spending money to give them content that they're monetizing, you're getting nothing from. Oh, gosh, I honestly don't know what to say about this because I really legitimately have seen it from both sides prior to this, and I see where everybody's coming from.
Yeah, and there was a lot of outrage too when they changed the requirements for the
They should have just grandfathered people that were already there.
I agree with that. I think that's honestly, if it were me, and it were like we were talking about, solution would be, look, if you joined or you signed up for YouTube before this date, these are the terms. After this date, these are the terms.
Right, and we had our Disney Channel that was a victim of this. So we actually had a channel that took a hit because of it. So it wasn't like we're just we didn't have any problems. We had problems too from it. I'm just saying that they should have grandfathered people. Would have been a solution that would have been more acceptable, I think.
Yeah, actually, I think if I recall, we had a lot of channels that this happened to. They were actually monetized, and then they were unmonetized, demonetized, and then we had to reapply to the partner program. Especially with this one. Now, people don't realize this channel's been around since 2015.
Yeah, people are like, you're new. It's like, no, we're not.
The first 2 years, we were with Maker Studios originally, and then we were with and they went under, so we had to go back, but we had to reapply to the partner program. So we really didn't make any money at YouTube for the first 2 or 3 years we did this. So, it's hard because it is. I mean, it's a motivator. It is. It's hard for small creators because you're like, at least there's some money in it, or at least there's some views or whatever. And YouTube does. Look, I'll tell you, their algorithm absolutely favors monetized content because they want to be able to. And this is why I think you're seeing a lot of this weirdness going on with some of the YouTube channels. They talk about the shadow bans. I do think that there probably is shadow banning going on, but I also think a lot of those videos, because of the topics, are being demonetized, and then YouTube is not recommending them as much because there's no money for
right.
them.
Just for financial reasons, they're going to be like, what we can make the most money at. But yeah, like I said, it's a business.
Yeah.
Going in. I think it's a really kind of crappy thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially when they weren't making money on these people before. They didn't care before. Now they are. And especially for people who deliberately were choosing to have no ads. I could see that being a problem. But the flip side is this content's parked there. It is not cheap to host. And then that was the case. All these people were parked there, and they weren't paying anything to be on there, and all the expense for the hosting was coming out of people that were larger. But notice how if they're going to put ads on everyone, and if that's the case to help pay for stuff, they aren't taking a smaller cut from the big people.
No, that would actually be the fairer thing. Be like, fine, we're going to throw ads on everybody's content. If you're part of the partner program now, we're only going to take 20% or something.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, it's like they're having their cake and eating it too. But the cost for hosting the stuff keeps going up and up and up. And I can't imagine how much it costs them to host the stuff. But
yeah, well, they're Google. Yeah. They've got infinite money.
Well, they own the stuff to host it on. So technically, they probably aren't paying anything.
I'd have to look into it. I'm really curious now. After this, I think I'm going to look into it. How many servers are they leasing or do they own? Just for YouTube. Them. Just for YouTube, but again, you do it on your own, you can do it, but it's so much harder.
To keep it. You have to pay all those people to keep it running.
Yeah.
You have to pay all the people to do all the work to make sure that they're checking on videos and you're talking even every day they're adding thousands of creators. I try not to think about it too much because it makes my brain hurt. I can't even imagine trying to manage that. But for people that are starting out, it sucks. People are already okay with it. I understand I have to wait to monetize. I understand it take me a while because I have to hit these guidelines. And then they're okay with that. It's not great, but they're okay with it. And then it's but you can, because they're not big enough to bother with, but then they can bother with when they want to keep the money. So like I said, as I've said repeatedly, I see both sides of this one, and I really don't know what I can offer as a solution because I honestly don't know.
I don't know. It's going to get harder. It's YouTube is going to get more crowded. The other solution, I do believe we need other platforms.
I agree.
But YouTube has already become synonymous with online videos, and it's going to be really hard to compete with them head to head unless they keep making stupid mistakes like they've been doing for the last couple of years. Then more people might be willing to jump ship. But
mostly because they have all the eyeballs. It's the same with Webtoons. They have all the eyes, so people are just they're not trying other people. They're going right to them because if you want the eyes, they're right there. They already made sure that they use everybody else to build it up then took out competition, and now you have to go to them.
Well,
so
that's the biggest complaint I'm hearing about YouTube is they basically used independent content creators to build the platform, and then all these corporations started coming in with their corporate content, the NBCs and
and they get preferential treatment.
And they get preferential treatment because of the number of the.
Well, they pay ad money.
Yeah, NBC's paying to advertise, Disney's paying to advertise. Of course, you're going to promote their content, and then you're going to make money off of their content they have on there anyway. So it's this giant like YouTube circle jerk they got going on. And it's all about the money, you know. At the end of the day, it's all about the money, and it takes money to make money. And I feel really bad for small creators because
we've been there.
Yeah, we've been there, and it's harder now than it was even 2 or 3 years ago to start a YouTube channel and actually be successful at financially. In fact, I think after the adpocalypse, starting a channel after the adpocalypse, your chances are very, very slim.
And that's what happened with like webcomics too. It happened with webcomics, same thing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap this up.
I think we're gonna wrap it up. So just so you know, they might throw some ads on your stuff even if you didn't tell them to. Please subscribe to our channel for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.